Hello, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to you today. Just give people a little chance to come online. Just there's a little bit of a lag, so we'll give you. I'm so excited that I don't want to jump the gun. I want everybody to see you, Michael. So we'll just let them join here. And it gives me tremendous pleasure to have today with us Michael Sandler. He is the co-host of a very, very popular show, Inspirenation, which I think many of you are already very familiar with. It's spiritual, it's about self-help. It's a very focused podcast, which I believe you produce with your lovely wife, Jessica. Mm-hmm. And you've got quite a story, Michael. Yeah, when I was reading your story, what you've been through as a professional athlete, your body, your experiences, and your ability to keep coming back stronger and better than ever. No matter what you've been through, and boy, you've been through a lot of life challenges from the small amount that I've read about you, and you just come back beaming that light stronger. Is there anything you'd like to share that's uppermost in your thoughts, in your mind, in your heart right now, that you'd like to share with all of us today, just to get us started?
We're not our limitations. We're not anything we've been taught. We're not anything that we even feel or experience. And having a 15-week-old and juggling everything right now and lots of challenges, it's something that I get to remember as much as anyone else, is that this is all just story, and we can write a new story. Sometimes it's easier than others. Sometimes our egoic mind will kick up quite the storm and say no. Or you might be completely overwhelmed. And again, I'm speaking for myself. We are going through the most interesting time period of our lives, and the best I can do is get down in the muck and mire and then get back up and scrape off the mud and say, what just happened? And look, and then step back in again. But that's at its best, that's the journey of life. At its worst, it's just the education of life, but it's all life. When I was 10 years old, I had my first really serious accident, which led to 6 various operations, all leg related. I was told, I'd have arthritis, and by 18, I'd struggle to walk, and I'd have this challenge, and I had that challenge. And I went on to become a professional athlete. It's nobody knows you like you know you, and you don't even know you, and you don't even know what you're capable of. So, I've got a split screen up here. I've got a picture of my wife and my baby on the other side of the screen right here. We had 3 miscarriages and lost a twin in utero. What a miracle. And so I'm looking at a miracle going, I don't even pretend to know what amazing possibilities can come out of this existence. And so what I do for this dance on my better days, on my worst days, I'll, cry and have to, shed some tears, get stuff off me. And that's more recent than I care to admit. That's just the journey. Is on those better days, I surrender into a knowingness that more is possible, Bracha, than I thought there was. It may not at all come the way I desire. It almost never does. It may not look at all as I desire. It never does. But I'm looking at the picture of my baby and my wife here, and it can come together so much better than I ever expected it would. And those aren't just words. I can go pick up my baby now and go, wow, 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 wow. So much better.
Wow. That really touches my heart hearing that. Thank you, Michael. You've taught automatic writing to thousands of people. And I wonder if you could talk a little more about this subject for us, because it's a fascinating topic. What is it exactly? You've written a book about it. Tell us a little more, please.
Automatic writing in some form or another has been around for thousands and thousands of years, probably since, we picked up the ink or whatever it was in the caves and started drawing and didn't even know what was going to come out. And we kind of channeled onto the wall before us something. All of the great works of art, all of the great pieces of literature, every single author will tell you it didn't come from me. Nobody thinks their way through a book. Nobody thinks their way through artistry or thinks their way through a 3-act or a 5 or 6-act play. Shakespeare isn't saying, what's the word I should use next? That's just not how it works. So what I help do is, you could call it codify, or come up with a systematic approach so that everybody can tap into this wisdom from the other side, from the inside, from wherever we want to call it, and make it easier on a moment's notice. Put pen to paper, ask a question in the universe. What's going on right now? Why am I feeling this way? Why does life feel so overwhelming? Why am I struggling? Whatever it is. And for the universe, for spirit, angels, guides, inner wisdom, heck, you can actually channel your loved ones, God, him or herself, which is to me really the love that is everything. There's no, to me, bearded white guy up in the sky. But if there is, you can channel the bearded white guy in the sky too. You put pen to paper and the answers come through. That's literally what changed my life, my family's life. That's how everything that I teach, everything that I do, all came out of that, because I have, and this could be from my sports upbringing, a very strong head. And I've got this master's degree, I've got that master's degree. I've got a very strong head. But when the head was steering the ship, I was in a lot of trouble. My head still wants to steer the ship. And at those times, I'm in a lot of trouble. If I go back to a spirit-based living, or an inner GPS that comes from someplace else. I have a school of mystics, and I'm teaching people how to have one foot here and one foot on the other side of the veil at all times, sort of like that beautiful image you have behind you. It's that yin and yang. It's the here and there. When we live from that place, which is where I live now, tapped into automatic writing, at least again in my better moments, everything changes. And the only reason we're speaking today is not because I wrote this book, it's because I do this stuff. Because on a daily basis, I go, what's going on? Where do I go from here? Like right now, what they're telling me is chill, relax, man. It's going to all be okay. Because we are all feeling this incredible energy, where you are in the world, heat right now. The heat is not escaping any of us, and it doesn't care where on the planet you are. We're all plugged into the same energy. And so what we have to do is plug into a greater energy to be able to ground through this time period.
Beautiful, beautiful. Can you give us perhaps an example of how you've used the automatic writing maybe in the last week or two? Is there a specific example you might like to share?
Well, I use it the simplest example is tonight I'm teaching a YouTube live event as well. And the YouTube live event tonight will be on, are you picking up other people's energy? We're all empaths. And if we're listening to the show, your audience, they're empaths. So if you are Velcro, which an empath is, and you're picking up other people's energy, how do you know? How do you tell? What do you do about it? So I sat down. Actually, a week ago, they told me, I'll call them the guides in automatic writing, said, this is the topic you're going to teach about. This morning, I sat down and they said, here's what you're teaching tonight, and laid out bullet point after bullet point after bullet point after bullet point after bullet point. And what happens over time is, it's really funny. Automatic writing is no longer automatic writing. They'll speak to you in your better moments. When the ego's gone nuts, you can't hear anything. But if you can get the ego out of the way, then spirit, angels, guides, I don't care what you call it, giant cheeseburger in the sky, will speak to you. And so I'll have this bullet point list, and I'll go tonight. I'm actually doing it right now, but I'll go tonight for my YouTube live. I'll have the bullet point, and I'll start to mention a bullet point, and I'll hear, well, what you really want to say is, and I will bring that wisdom through me. So it helps on my teachings. It helps on my communication. It is right now, we are living in a beautiful home in the mountains that's actually way too small for us. And my nervous system doesn't seem to do well with this too smallness. It's one beautiful glamping main room. So we've got bedrooms, but we have a rooster, 3 kitties, and a baby and me all coexisting in this one space. And I don't do that great with it. And so automatic writing will say, breathe deep. It's going to be okay. Here's where you want to go next. Here's why you want to go next. Here's what's coming for you.
Wow.
And help me be all right with all of that. It's not so much a true crystal ball. I don't know if there is such a thing. I've said since COVID, my crystal ball is broken, because whatever we want to call it through automatic writing, whatever is on the other side of the veil, let's just call it our higher self, our spirit on the other side of the veil, doesn't want to spoon feed us all the answers, because she or he wants us to learn and grow and expand. And how do we learn and grow and expand if we already know everything? We might as well just sit on the couch. Instead, we're going to get uncomfortable. This morning was an uncomfortable morning for me. Too tight, too many things coming at once. Hello, Monday. And automatic writing won't say, here is everything that's going to come your way, but they will give me the next step. They will tell me how to get through this. They will tell me where to place my focus, my energy, my attention, my awareness, and why this can actually be a positive experience, maybe in disguise. And so when you tap in and through automatic writing on a daily basis, when you have a practice where you're not just, it's different than meditating. It's not, I'm just sitting here going, oh, I'm meditating, I feel good. It is a two-way street of communication. I call it communing, because it's a very deep level communication. When you have that deep level communication, it doesn't mean that it's suddenly a panacea or a cure for everything, because you're here to learn lessons. But you take a path that's more flow related, and you understand more the journey. That's the most important thing. I think if, I don't know how often I reference it, but if I went back to the original movie, The Matrix, I don't know if you remember that, with Keanu Reeves, and he's talking with the Oracle. And it's near the end of Matrix 1, and stuff's about to go down. And he comes in and speaks with the Oracle, and I think she was breaking up some cookies for him, or baked some cookies. And she said, you didn't come here to know what to do next. You already know what you're going to do. You came here to understand why.
Beautiful.
That's
Wow.
like the Oracle of Delphi. That's what we're doing, which is actually near and dear in a sense to you. We came here through our automatic writing. We're plugging in to understand. And it's that understanding and awareness that uncouples us at least a little bit from the heaviness of this world and helps us to ascend. It doesn't mean that we're not, I'm not big into the airy-fairy spiritual thing. I am spiritual, and you're walking around completely unconnected. You're in both worlds, but you're no longer stuck in the heaviness of the physical world.
Beautiful. Thank you, Michael. What happens if somebody would say to you, well, what if I can't write?
Perfect, even better, because that means you're not using the thinking part of your mind. So I interviewed Dr. Andrew Newberg multiple times for this book. He's a neuroscientist. He's written Enlightenment in the Brain and done a lot of SPECT scans, brain scans, on meditation practitioners, lay people, and automatic writing practitioners. And what he found is automatic writing practitioners, the frontal lobe, the executive part of the brain, which is responsible for when do I do this, how do I get there, and writing, what do I write, it goes offline when we do automatic writing. It powers down. So all of your training in becoming a good writer or becoming a great writer, and completely unnecessary for this. And you don't have to be able to channel at all. The center of the mind responsible for I, me, my, what I call the George Harrison center of the brain. The last song of the Beatles, I, me, my, the egoic center. The parietal lobe powers down as well. The words are not coming from you. All you get to learn how to do is get out of the way and let the words come through. And that's easier than it seems. And it's just a daily practice, but not like a hard practice.
Wow. Yes, I read your wonderful book. Would you like to hold it up, Michael, so we can all see
Sure.
it? Thank you.
Ta-da.
Yes. Oh, The Automatic Writing Experience. It's an amazing book for anybody who is interested, and I'm imagining in our audience here there's probably quite a lot of people who are fascinated in this subject and maybe don't know where to begin, don't know where to start, don't know if they're doing it right.
So first off, I would send them over to automaticwriting.com because there is a whole video-based program and live classes with me once a month that's included with it. Go over to automaticwriting.com and we have a coupon code here today, all caps, astrology50, to help you save a bunch. But that's where you start. Start there. But let go. That is the hardest thing. And that's maybe the biggest lesson I get to keep repeating and repeating that I still get to work on, Bracha, is letting go. When I first learned automatic writing, I was taking a class on plugging into the Akashic Masters, the librarians of the universe. And I dove into my writing and wrote something so profound and so beautiful. And then I had to share it with a class. And they said the writing was, you'll be a teacher, you'll be a leader, you'll speak before thousands and thousands of people from a mountaintop up on high. And I was aghast that I wrote that and read that and thought that was my ego taking over class. And I didn't touch automatic writing for another year and a half. Then I tried automatic writing again. You'll be a leader, you'll be a teacher, you'll be speaking before thousands of people. And ego again, okay, put it away. I did not trust. Then I had a past life regression with someone trained by Dolores Cannon herself. What did I get? You'll be a leader, you'll be a teacher, you'll be. Eventually, I gave up and said, and it was because I got my butt kicked, is the best way to put it. And finally, you get your butt kicked by universe enough to steer you. You go, okay, there may be a better way here. And I dove into automatic writing years later. I was a leader, I was a teacher, I was speaking with our podcast and YouTube channel before thousands and thousands of people while living in Colorado on a mountaintop on high. It's real. It works. Let go of where things come from. Don't worry about it at all. It doesn't actually matter because it's not coming from your thinking mind. Your thinking mind will never tell you how great you are, ever. It will keep you small to keep you under control. And this is a process of getting out of your mind, of getting out of control, of letting go of control. And so you just dive in on a daily basis, and whatever comes is beautiful.
Wow. And let's say somebody's just beginning. Let's say somebody's interested. Yep, they certainly should check out your website. What would be a good starting point? What would be a good place to start to be able to maybe establish a certain routine to tune into this type of energy?
Pick a time, preferably to me first thing in the day, but you've got your choice, first thing in the day or last thing in the evening, because the whole world goes silent. And you can hear your thoughts, you can hear your heartbeat, but you can also hear the universe. So pick one of those two times. Then you would go into a quiet, meditative process. I teach it in the book or the program. It's very, very simple. You don't have to be able to meditate. You have a nice nook or quiet place to write. If it's a busy home, it could be a closet. It could be under the stairs. It could be in your bathroom. It could be in your car in the garage. It doesn't matter. If you don't have a garage, it can be a car in the street. Put up a sun visor. Put on your headphones. And we start there. And we just do it approximately each day if you can. Do the best you can with it. No pressure. We've got too much pressure with everything in life. Speaking personally, we've got too much pressure with everything in life right now. But just do it on a daily basis and expect nothing. Because here's the funny thing, the coolest thing. Yeah, definitely the coolest thing. I had to yank back the book. COVID was just starting. We were getting our book out. I had to yank it back from my editor and say, we need to change some stuff. My editor was aghast. I love her very dearly, but she was aghast. She's like, the book's done. I'm like, I've realized one key component of automatic writing that I didn't fully understand before. The writing, Bracha, is not the writing. There's an energy, a transmission that you get from being in that space that far supersedes the writing. It's why, like I said, this was a challenged Monday. so be it. And I knew that speaking to you, I would suddenly feel much better. Now, part of that is your energy is incredible. Part of that is both of us are linked in up here to the other side of the veil. That's what you get through automatic writing as well. You're now plugged into the other side. So there's no such thing as bad automatic writing because the words are less important than the energetic shift that takes place when you're in that space.
Beautiful. Gosh, thank you. That's very inspiring, Michael. Um, if somebody, I'm going to ask this, if somebody's got maybe a question, can you just save some of your questions? We will answer questions. We'll start answering questions in 10 to 15 minutes. So think up your questions now, and then we'll be ready. You're absolutely right. It's an energetic field that you tap into, and then you get into this kind of like an unlimited place.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not limited. It's not like the tiny space that you're having to maneuver around.
Thank you. Exactly.
That disappears. It sort of drops away, doesn't it, Michael?
It
Once
does.
you're in that energy frequency. Yes, talk about
Well,
that a little, please.
it's a great way to put it. We are energetic beings having an energetic experience in human form. So I've got a 15-month-old or a week old, as I keep mentioning upstairs. She was more or less this time last year, she was pure energy, just pure energy. And then part of her got stuffed down into this wee tiny little body, which is a spacesuit, which she's trying to figure out how to work. It's it can be very tight and inhibiting, and all she knew how to do, she's gotten much better, is cry to vocalize, I have needs now in this physicality. That's if we go back to Chris Farrell from Saturday Night Live a good couple of decades ago. Very, very funny comedian, very, very big guy. He would go, fat guy in a little suit, and he would put his arms together, and the suit would tear apart in the back of it. That's all of us. We've got this beautiful fat, we'll call it, PATT, fat energy, stuffed in this tiny little meat suit. And when we first wake up in this thing, we're going, are you kidding me? What in the world do I do with this? Wouldn't it be great if we have time each day to experience our fatness, our immenseness, our grandness, far outside the limitations of this meat suit? That's where we're playing. And you get a higher perspective on everything from that place, which allows you to play the game in your tiny little meat suit bigger, grander, more either more enjoyable or if nothing else, more alive. Because we are all, self included, afraid to fully live. We're given this giant litany of things we get to be afraid of. But the more time we bathe on the other side, the more that we can see the ridiculousness, at least of most of them. I would still look both ways before you cross the street. And if there's a truck coming, I would still wait.
I love that. That's what I love about you, Michael, is you've got this very grounded, centered, practical side with all this sort of woo-woo stuff, because you can float off into no la-la land with it.
Been there.
And I love, and that's one of the things I love about your book, is it's extremely clear, it's very well written, and it's really practical. And with very simple instructions. Yeah, you've not got into complications or anything. It's like, yeah, these are just suggestions that you make, and they're really, really valuable. So thank you for bringing the reality into this area, because we've got to live, as you rightly say, with a foot in both worlds.
Thank you. And this book was this was hard. This was I when I first started writing it, I was I don't know if it was that I was No, it wasn't that I wasn't grounded. I didn't have the nuanced skills that I do now. And so many words came through the first time and the second time. And this was 4 times to get this book out. That's something that's tighter, more cogent or coherent and very easy to follow along, because I didn't know how to control the fire hose at first. Because you get a fire hose of information from the universe, and what do you do with all of it? So it took some work. I can remember the Jessica saying, "You need, my wife, you need to write this," and me going, "No, no, no." The guide saying, "You need to write this," and I'm like, "You've got the wrong guy." And here we are.
They were right, is all I can say upon reflection.
Yeah.
They've got it absolutely right, and now you're actually teaching people how to do it. What's involved in that, Michael?
So I have a video-based program which guides you through step by step, but then also live classes once a month. We've got a live class coming up in just a few weeks, where in only an hour's time, I can teach them how to begin doing automatic writing the next morning or that evening. And then, of course, there's the Facebook group and everything, so you can ask all your questions. But I break it down module by module to help get you started in it. And then, to me, automatic writing is the game changer. It wakes you up to who and what you are. And that's why, if my mission is done, and I mentioned it before we started, elevate consciousness, shift humanity. Well, I've got the order all backwards, but basically raise people's vibration, elevate consciousness, shift humanity. Thank you. Okay, so, but if all I do is share automatic writing, the job is done, because if people plug in, they're going to shift. With that said, once you start shifting and plugging in, you both want to find like-minded individuals, but you also want to find kind of that university where you can go to and get the higher level classes now. And so over time, I was encouraged, cajoled, and coerced into finally starting a school of mystics or mysticism to help people go, okay, I'm diving into this information. I'm being bathed in it. What do I do with it? How do I navigate this world now that I've gotten so much goodness in here? How do I understand where I take this? And so I help people take it to the next level with the School of Mystics. And that's been really, really fun, because now I've got everybody plugging into spirit, and then going, all right, I get it, at least on the surface. I'm supposed to be a beacon of light. That's what I'm supposed to do. Not like supposed to, like there's rules, or live, have fun. But there's something more I'm meant to do here. And then I help guide him on that journey.
Wow. And I think we've also got in the description box, the code is astrology 60.
Yes.
And I think you've got amazing offer on that as well, haven't you, Michael?
Yeah? Yes. So it's we try to make everything very cost effective. So it's a low monthly fee that gets much lower if you do astrology 60, and we'd love you to join us. And to me, what's coolest, the coolest thing is there is an energy of the group coming together, and we have far surpassed that critical mass with our group, that it's palpable on the first day there, and people, for lack of another term, they pop. They become more awake. They become more aware. Things start to shift very quickly when we have so many like-minded individuals with the same focus all together as one.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Michael. That sounds amazing. Somebody has asked, why angels? Why sometimes you speak about angels rather than going directly to the divine source?
It's a brilliant question. And that question's been coming up a lot lately. So to me, there's something cool about the angels. There's something cool about, having this winged archangel Michael by your side, or a guardian angel right there, or being able to call in a feathered friend. Now, of course, I've got my rooster in the other room, so in particular to feathered friend, to call in. It feels more tangible somehow, more real. Like, I'm going to call in God. I'm going to call in the divine of the divine, the holy of holies. And that's also steeped in so much misunderstanding, shall we say, because I look at God's source universe as this field of love. That's what it is. It's energy. But calling in this supernatural being that's going to be by my side and help me through everything, it just feels good. It feels right. And these are all just names. They're labels we put on things. Are there really energy that are acting as archangels? Sure. But you can call them angels. You can call them guides. You can call them cheeseburgers. I don't care what you call them. But it feels good. And feeling, resonance, frequency, vibration, that's the whole game, because it's energy. And so whatever energy you wish to call in that is going to help you, heck, you literally, I'll teach you in the book, I'll teach you in our online course, I'll teach you to connect with loved ones who are on the other side of the veil. If you want to call in, Grandma Kramer as a regular basis, I love you, Grandma. If you want to call in her and that's your angel and guide to you, perfect. It's whomever or whatever resonates with you.
Beautiful. Wow. I love that you said, Michael, that it's just about the feeling. It feels good to have this wonderful archangel.
Yeah.
Just that energy. And you bring in that frequency through your thought, through the mental energy. You're bringing that closer to you. So, and I love that everybody's got different frequencies that they would like to connect to.
Yeah.
And I think that's wonderful. Thank you. Now, somebody else is asking, how do you verify that you are channeling your higher self or the divine energies?
Another brilliant question. Over time, you can become like a famous channeler like Suzanne Giesemann, where you can get information that you can, quantifiably verify. Early on, the ego likes to get involved a little too much to say, look in your fifth drawer to the right. You will find a ring that you never knew existed. No, it's probably not going to come quite like that to begin with. But what's the feeling state behind it? Your higher self, source, spirit, universe is going to always bring you. And it doesn't mean that they may not say you need to take action, Bracha, on something right away, but it will always have a lighter feeling state to it. The egoic mind, the thinking mind, will always have a, will always be, to quote a 1970 song, freak out to it.
I love that song, yes.
And that's the difference. Now, literally, here's one of the coolest things that I don't even understand how or why it works. At least within automatic writing, I don't know about it every time during the day, but at least in automatic writing, you're in this sacred space. Your vibration is shifted. If you wrote, "Is this my egoic mind?" Ego seems to answer. Egoic mind will actually say, "Yeah, what are you going to make of it?" If it is. So you can get a good idea. And then I have exercises to walk you through, not if, but when ego comes up, because ego is going to want to steal the show. And that's okay, because we get to help heal ego, live with ego. I'm not the guy who's saying, banish ego, get rid of ego, burn ego at the stake. No. So ego's here to help you, just a little bit misguided maybe, but let's work on healing and integrating your ego.
Oh, I love this. Thank you, Michael. Beautiful. Got quite a specific question here, and let me read it out. It comes from WMHT6, who says, I channeled a fictional book over 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
I would scribble on any piece of paper I could find, but most of it is illegible. Will I disappoint the source of the channeling if I never organize it?
Brilliant question. And I faced this with many authors before.
Yes, good.
It's about the energy. It's about the experience. You have already gotten all that you need through the process. If it's meant to be birthed, it will come again and be legible. If it's meant to exist in this world, the way will appear. Your job, and this is again going back to me, your job is never to force the stone uphill. A forced stone always rolls back down and hurts you, or hurts you badly. I've had people channel books where well, this came through and that came through and this other came through, but I didn't get it out there in time. No, there's no in time. You don't have to worry about it. It came through for you first and foremost, or for you and you alone. So what a beautiful experience that you channeled this in 3 days. Now, because you were able to channel a book in 3 days, if you desire, chances are there is more waiting for you. And with practice, you can come up with a methodology where it is legible. But this does not mean you have to do that. Energetically, you are not the same person you were before you channeled 3 days ago. Perfect. Allow into that and love yourself up, because here we have all, every single one of us, we have all turned our spiritual practice into weapons against us now and again. You don't need anything else to feel guilty about, to feel bad about, to feel less than about. It is and was perfect in its illegibility. In fact, you may want to frame it, hang it on the wall, perfect in its illegibility, just as it is.
Michael, what a beautiful answer. Absolutely. Yeah. And you covered so much
Thank you.
in that response. Yeah. About self doubt, self love, weapons of mass destruction that the ego's got at its
Yes.
on hand. So, really, just fantastic. Thank you. Now, a lot of people are asking about RuRu.
I'll tell you what, hang around till the end. You give us a couple minute notice and I will bring him out. Now, baby is still sleeping, so I will bring him out at the end, which is just about the end of his nap time too. So, for those who aren't familiar with Rue, he is my I don't even know. He's my rooster, or I'm his human. I don't even know what to call it there. He's amazing. He's awesome. He's challenging. He's loving. He's kind. He's a rooster. Uh, he's quiet, then he's noisy. He was sick last month. It's miraculous that he's better this month. So, and he's our guide, and living with a rooster, even a fairly domesticated rooster, is about as easy as living with King Kong. So he's a challenge, but he's apparently a guide on our path.
Wow.
And I'm happy to bring him up because he's pure love.
Yeah. I mean, first things first, and priorities. It's more important that your child sleeps. So if this is
just before the top, and he'll actually, chances are, in fact, I can't recall now the last time he crowed in my arms on camera. We did on cue. Somebody mentioned something a few weeks back, and they mentioned something fear-based, and he's much more sensitive energetically than even a cat, much more sensitive. And his job is first and foremost a protector of us. So he's always scanning for danger. But sort of like in Instagram world, he can see emojis of emotion. So if you have an errant thought, a stray thought that's gone awry, he may sing a cry of danger. And so we be, I guess the Hawaiian word is pono, very true to staying in the light when we bring him on camera, and he's chill as a clam. So, if you start talking about I don't know what, but that's a different story, because he's gonna be going.
It's great. You're getting some wonderful feedback here, Michael. I have to say, I feel quite honored to be interviewing you. Yes, you're doing always the interviewing, and Karen here is saying she's watched many of your shows, and it's nice to hear you being interviewed. So
thank her for me. Thank you, yes, Karen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for this. It's a real pleasure to have you on the other side of this fence, so to speak. It's lovely.
Feels good.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about your School of Mystics. Could you sort of tell us a bit more information about that, please?
So we meet 4 Wednesdays a month. And there is a channel teaching that I bring forth, and there's always a monthly theme. So 2 months ago, it was about frequency of light and seeing beyond sight, and all sorts of things having to do with light and frequency and transmissions. This past month has been hearing beyond sound. So it's been about all of these frequencies and vibrations that are inside and outside of yourself, and how you can plug into these and how it shifts you. This coming Wednesday is kind of an intermediary, a bridge before next month, which next month we're going to be talking about thinking beyond thought. And this class is going to be a very, very special one. And we're going to start the teaching a little bit with the YouTube Live tonight, but we always dive in the School of Mystics, which is going to be about how do I discern whose energy I have. Is it my energy? Is it Bracha's energy? Is it somebody on the street? I've got an RV right now that we were traveling around in last year and parked it once we got pregnant. It's been this beautiful journey, but I get to sell this RV, and meeting with people in the RV industry. It's all of a sudden I'm talking with like car salespeople, and all of a sudden I feel this energy on me. Oh my God. And I love everybody equally, but I can tell when I picked up somebody else's energy. You know it. And so Wednesday, we're not only, so tonight in YouTube Live, I'm going to help people identify the energy, but Wednesday, I'm going to help do a massive clearing on everybody. And we're going to peel away all of these different layers of other people's energy. And you've had energy stuck to you since childbirth and even before, but it's the first day of school here in the Poconos. Kids are going off to school. They're going to pick up their teachers' energies, and they're going to pick up their classmates' energies. How can you live your true authentic self if you're stuck with all of these strands of energies pulling you this way, telling you what you can do, telling you what you can't do, telling you how to feel, telling you how not to feel? And so this Wednesday's class, I'm going to be helping get people light. So each week there's a teaching, each week there's a Q&A, each week there's an exercise. And about once a month, I do a clearing based on what we're going through, because whether it's familial traumas, ancestral traumas, traumas that you experienced on the other side of the veil, or more specifically in past lives, or things you're experiencing now, if I can help get you lighter as well, then the teachings have bite, because we've all had the experience of knowing what to do, but being unable to do so. And so I need to help get you energetically light. And so once a month in class, I do that. That happens to be this Wednesday. It's fun. It is a group of crazy, beautiful group of like-minded individuals. It's Zoom. You can be on camera. You can be off camera. You can be speaking on audio. You can be hidden. You can ask your questions out loud. You can put them in the chat. Whatever works for you. It's just fun. And if nothing else, and you can tell from here, and I'm kind of subdued because I got the baby upstairs. In fact, I should probably be even quieter. But with that said, your energy, I promise you, will go up and up and up and up and up and up and up. That's what it's about.
People have been saying in the chat, actually, they've been on your weekly call, and that your clearing is amazing.
Cool.
Yes, clearings that you do. So thank you for giving us a little more information about that. Michael, Nicole Hollinger is asking, you spoke earlier, you are not the same person you were before you channeled the book.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any fresh insights on staying embodied as we seem to experience changes daily?
Nicole, I'm almost wanting to be, trying to see how to say this without being tongue in cheek. We will, as long as we don't choose otherwise, we'll always stay embodied. We don't have to worry about it. It's a very heavy place. You have to really choose to be airy, fairy, flighty, and really, I'm just spiritual. And I'm not picking on anybody. There were years I spent on Maui, barefoot, running around, holding space at a meditation center, up here as my whole world is going. So yeah, you can do it. But if you're grounded to a practice on a daily basis, if you're able to step back and look at your life, it's not a big concern. That's the egoic mind going awry, saying, well, be careful of doing these practices. You're going to lose yourself. You may lose yourself to a higher version of yourself. That's not a bad thing. I can look back, heck, just a year ago versus looking back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and I am radically different, but I'm also more me. Now, it's a weird paradox to hold hand in hand. I'm completely different and I'm more me. I'm more of that true authentic me, sort of like peeling away those sticky layers of energy that I'm going to be doing. I'm more my authentic self, who I didn't even know. He was inside of me, but I didn't even know who he was 5, 10, 20 years ago. I was going along energetically down, which still happens on occasion. It happens, I think, to the best of us. Could be wrong, but it still happens to me. But I was living energetically down and sleepwalking, unawake, unaware of who and what I was capable of being, and not as plugged in on a conscious level. Truth be told, there's a little bit of you that's in here. There's a huge bit of you that's always everywhere. But we put on headphones and live with collective amnesia, even though our higher selves is screaming at us, Bracha, what you want to ask is, and we're going, no, I don't hear you. But you become more of your true authentic self. So don't worry about losing yourself, Nicole. Have that practice and you will become more of who you're capable of being. Will it change you? Absolutely. Will it change you in ways you don't like? For the most part, no. I will give one caveat, which is in any practice done with spirit where you start to get to know spirit, elbow to elbow, belly to belly, as they say in Japan, on a really close basis, you're going to change. For yourself, it's awesome. For others around you, it may make some of them uncomfortable when they're staying as they're at. Some of them are going to be going, what's that? Give me the juice. I want it too. And other people are going to be going, you seem a little different. And you will. But different is not necessarily bad. I think that's a great thing. It just means more of your light is shining through.
Beautiful. Thank you. That's a great answer. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
So, I think we've sort of covered the main questions for now. A lot of people are saying they're going to be looking at they're going to your website, they're checking out these offers. So perhaps if you could just one more time show us the book, which is an awesome book. It's brilliant. Thank you.
And that, go to automaticwriting.com.
Yes.
And then for the School of Mystics, I don't have a School of Mystics that I can hold up. I'm not sure. That'd be a very big thing, holding up a whole school. But you can go to Inspirenation University, inspirationuniversity.com. And when you sign up, and we've got this coupon code here, Astrology60, to save $60 a month. And Automatic Writing, we've got Astrology50 to save $50 a month. When you sign up, you get all of our past classes as well. So one of the classes, 2 months ago when we were doing light, I had a class on opening your pineal gland or your third eye. So I would definitely check out that class. And then I think one of my favorite classes of the year was a class I taught maybe about a month ago, which is about when you have a very severe experience, a very challenged experience, an overwhelming experience, and you're feeling like a ruckus. I don't even know, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And you need to find a way to ground or to get into a peaceful place. I teach a class called The Wave of Peace, or The Wave of Energy, of how to actually step out of this fear-based self place that you're in and step into this wave of energy that's really just right next to you and ground into that peace. And so that's another class that comes when you join the School of Mystics. And that's about a month ago. And classes like that keep coming up because, well, to be honest, the scariest thing for me is that I don't really know what I'm going to be teaching until I go into automatic writing and they tell me. So it is very scary for the teacher to go, I can't say exactly what's coming next, but it'll be really special. But I can promise you this. I don't know. I know the themes, but I don't know exactly what will be coming. Next month is Thinking Beyond Thought, but it will be really special.
Fantastic. Anything with you, Michael, is special because of your energy. Yes, as you said, that the words are, of course, important. It's the energy behind those words that actually moves people's lives, changes
That's
lives.
what's most important.
So we're being absolutely badgered here for you know who.
All right, give me one moment.
Is
And
it too early? Is it just tell us if it's going to be too disruptive?
no, I think it'll be fine. So hold on 1 minute. Now, it is, we will see how chill he is right now. And if he's nice and relaxed, we'll keep him on camera for a few minutes. If he's kind of wired. So here's the little bit of the backstory. He was sick until a few weeks ago. He's getting stronger and healthier each day. I've been working with him on some specific exercises for flight and energy. And so he's been getting very energized lately. And on top of that, now that he has the energy to do so and his body's feeling better, he's molting. And what molting means is I just learned yesterday, there's over 5,000 feathers on a rooster or on any chicken. And it could be a long molt where it takes a month or so. It could be a quick molt in a few days. In his case, it's probably more the month side. But you feel a little off when you're losing all of your feathers for new ones to come in. And it's sort of like he's feeling better now. And he's like taking that cosmic shower of getting all of that old energy off of him and growing new energy. So we'll see how chill and relaxed he is, but bear with me here. Hold on.
Thank you. Thank you. Be quiet. See, Oliver wanted to come up today. He was very much wanting to join us on the live stream. So he's here just to say hello to everybody. He's bringing a little bit of soothing energy here, soothing, loving energy. He wants you to look at his badge. If you can see his pink badge. Oh, now. So RuRu is coming. And Oliver's going to be nice and quiet, aren't you?
I'm going to get the headphones on. Hold on, let's get the headphones on. And we'll say hi to everybody. Can I put the headphones on while I'm holding you? That's always the challenge. But I need to hear our new friend. I do. So almost got him on. Sort of got him on. Kind of got him on. Almost got him on. Here we go. There we are. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. I know you're really energized right now, so breathe deep. Breathe deep. Breathe deep. Good boy, Ru. When I do meditations with their YouTube live, I often do it with Ru in my hands because he helps me to get in a really centered place, because if I'm not really centered, he's a rooster. You're such a good boy.
He's so good.
You're such a good boy.
He's so beautiful.
Thank you.
His energy. Wow. We don't need words. He's so good.
He's mesmerizing too, isn't he? And that's universal for, I'm getting hungry, Daddy. He is an example, and he has his moments. He's a rooster. I will never say that he's not a rooster, and he has his rooster nature, but of what we can do when we bring love.
It's just blown away.
You're such a
Precious.
such a good boy. Oh, we've melted. We've melted.
So precious. Such beautiful feathers.
Now I just heard the baby crying, not because of RuRu, but they're very, very connected. So he may well start singing in a minute to let me know that the baby is crying. So that's his nature, the protector.
What a treat. What a priceless gift, Michael. And what it shows about who you are as a being to be able to connect with RuRu at such a deep level. This speaks volumes, more than all the words you could express. These last minutes have spoken so much about your energy and your light.
I don't know if you can hear him talking right now.
You can hear him.
He has a lot to say.
People are saying they're going to save and replay just this bit every day.
We have, when he got sick, I had been promising him his own channel. We have started it. I haven't figured out what to do with it, but on TikTok, we have RuRu the Guru. RoORoOTHEGURU. RuRu the Guru. So I've got a few things up, but we'll get a lot more up. I know, I promised. I promise I will do better. I have no idea how to do TikTok or anything of the sort, but he's been asking because he was not meant to play it small. And so he was asking for his own channel, and so we have finally started one.
What a blessing.
So,
Wow. Michael, I can only say heartfelt thanks.
you're most welcome. It goes both ways. There's not enough gratitude in this world, so love and thank you, and to everybody, because we can feel everybody's energy today. The energy right now, Rue may have helped us go, but the
Indeed.
energy is really special right now.
It's beautiful, and it's going to emanate out to those watching later in time and space. It's still emanating out there. So go ahead, check out all of Michael's wonderful, wonderful offerings. It's just a joy to be in his energy field. So do check out his book and his offers. And thank you for Rue. Thank you, Jessica, in the background, for letting us have this precious hour with your beautiful Michael. Thank you.
Thank you, Bracha. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Rue.
Okay.
Lots of love.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.